This is pretty friggin' huge. Sony and Microsoft setting aside their rivalry to a degree here as they form an alliance for cloud gaming. So Sony, doesn't have the server cloud gaming clout that Microsoft does. Obviously, Microsoft with the Azure servers are one of the largest server farms on the planet.
It's the show.
And they've been putting a lot of time and energy into curating the Azure servers for this exact gaming purpose, whether it's using the cloud for computational purposes or for actually streaming games to consoles or to TVs or whatever, anything and everything. So apparently this just literally just cropped up, and this is kind of fucking wild. I'll just read what we've got here, honestly, because this is so fresh that I don't even know the whole story myself. So during a recent trip to the U.S., Sony president and CEO Yoshida signed a memorandum of understanding with Microsoft's CEO Nadella on a strategic tie-up. While details have yet to be hammered out, the partnership will center on artificial intelligence and the cloud, according to an announcement by Microsoft early Friday, Japan time, obviously still Thursday here. The latter category includes plans for joint development of cloud gaming technology. While this market is expected to grow as ultra-fast fifth-generation wireless gains traction, so that's like the 5G and whatnot, such services require much processing power on the provider's end to deliver the games with high-quality graphics and minimal lag. Sony and Microsoft plan to leverage the American computing behemoth's data centers for this purpose. I'm just hyper speed reading this to see if anything else here exists or if they're just giving some flavor text. Outside of gaming, the two companies will consider combining image sensors from Sony, who obviously make cameras and stuff like that, with which controls half the global market. Damn! With Microsoft's AI technology to develop electronic eyes for self-driving vehicles. That's smart. They will also discuss incorporating Microsoft's Cortana virtual assistant into television, speakers, and other Sony products. This is a monstrous fucking partnership, bro. This is some big dick swing. Sony and Microsoft getting together to do this shit is no joke. This is like, these are two other titans. Microsoft could have already gone toe-to-toe with Google, and now they're partnering up with Sony to doubly go toe-to-toe with Google, Amazon, and Apple. Mm-hmm. So Microsoft is being smarter, but this is Sony really needed. I mean, this is more Sony getting a benefit overall than Microsoft. Microsoft has the money that Sony doesn't have, but this is smart for Microsoft because it means they don't have to do everything themselves. They can just bring somebody into the fold. Yeah. And this is quite impressive. But for our purposes, obviously, the gaming side is most interesting because they've been rivals in the console space for so long.
I don't think that's going to change, though.
No, of course not. It's not like they're going to make their like an individual console combined. But what that does mean is that Sony's streaming services and cloud services will be from Microsoft. Mm-hmm. So much to the chagrin of all the Sony fanboys out there, I'm sure, that are losing their minds that Sony is now in bed with the Microsoft demon. But that's a very interesting development. So apparently, though, and this is the last part of this article, this is not the first time Sony and Microsoft have worked together. They announced collaborations in home electronics in 1998 and music distribution technology in 1999. So they've had many moons ago and many significantly different CEOs at this point. But they have worked together in the past, but not on this scale. This is some
That's big.
This is some next level shit. So that's a big thing that rolled in just before the podcast started. So that's a pretty big piece of news.
I'm sure we'll be able to probably talk about it more next week when more news or
so the question is, do we hear more about this at E3, or is this something that we don't hear until later in the year when they have more to discuss?
I don't think it's going to be at E3 because I think E3 it's going to be a battle of the consoles at E3. I think it's going to be a bit of the war. I don't think they want to go into E3 kumbaya. Hey, we love Sony. Hey, we love Microsoft. I think they want to compete. I think they want to say this is why we're going to be the best next generation experience for the games you love. opposed to us working together. I think the E3
Yeah.
would be separate, but I think down the road, it's like, hey, guys, you love Microsoft, you might love Sony, but guess what? We love games. And we've come
Exactly.
together
Yeah.
to give you guys the best gaming experience. It's not about who's against who. It's all about bringing you guys the best. And we've come together, taking the technology that these guys do well, technology and infrastructure that these guys have. We've made it together so that the gaming will be at the next level in 5 years or whatever.
Yeah,
or 10 years.
And something else to consider, because a lot of people are going to get hung up on the fact that about the gaming portion of this is that I think the majority of this deal lies outside of the gaming stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's the stuff that we just talked about here at the end.
Yeah.
It's like Sony and Microsoft are so much bigger than just the gaming portions of their product lines in their business. In fact, for both of them, the gaming side is towards the loss.
Yeah,
end.
it's not even their
It's not their bread and
mainstay.
butter.
No, fuck no.
So there's a lot more going on here. It's just that as a peripheral benefit, again, more for Sony than anything really in the gaming section essentially, and especially, is that they're getting the access to that cloud, Azure cloud stuff, and that's going to be great news for Sony and Microsoft both. That definitely interesting to see how much more comes out of that on the gaming side. And since this is just early days, we'll have to wait and see what crops up after that. So, thumbs up for that.
Bam.
Can't wait to see more.